Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the one-on-one session with me. My name is Hanu Fejiro. I am the founder and CEO of Patricia. So today I'm going to be talking about blockchain and fintech companies generally in Nigeria, Africa, and in the world at large, and how they affect our lives. So this session is basically going to be a answer and question sessions where if you have any questions, any underlying anything you want to know about technology, about Bitcoin, about the blockchain and Patricia, you can ask all of these questions. So before I jump right into it, I will be giving you guys a little backstory on Patricia, and we move on to blockchain and fintech. So Patricia, we are a fintech company founded 2017 August. So what we do, we basically trade cryptocurrencies, not limiting to just Bitcoin. We introduced Africa's first crypto card where you can literally withdraw your Bitcoins from the ATM, spend them online worldwide. We have different services. We have a gifting service. We have gift cards with Patricia where you can buy and sell gift cards. And there's a whole lot you can do. And we are at the moment we're transitioning into a full-blown bank, a digital bank, where you can do anything your traditional banks can give you and even more. For example, we just recently introduced airtime to cash as one of our services. So what we try to do at Patricia is we try to solve everyday problems with innovation. We try to see how we can make life simpler, how we can make life easier, with convenience being our watchword. So with products like airtime to cash, I can say for a large majority of people, we've all had situations where we mistakenly loaded airtimes. My case, particularly when I was in the university, my family members, my aunties would send me airtime 3,000, 4,000, and the likes, and I had to go and sell them for 1.5 and lose a whole lot of money. But with Patricia, you can do this at the convenience of your phone. All you need is just a smartphone that everybody has today. So Patricia, we started off August 2017 from it as a team of just 2 persons, and today we are 160 plus in Patricia. We have transaction volumes in our weekly transaction volumes are over the chain. We do a minimum of 100 to 150,000 transactions monthly. And the reason for our fast growth, I would say, is doing the most, which is one of our mantras at Patricia. We do the most all the time, every time. So we show up and we show out, and we make everything count. And far more than just um, me, the secret to our success has been building an amazing team. So if ever you were looking into venturing into any business, right, I think the first thing is to have your ideas and you move on to building a team because the team makes the dream work. So I'm diving straight into blockchain technology full time. So what is blockchain? So I'm pretty sure a lot of people have this misconception that says blockchain is the same as Bitcoin, but it is not the same. They are two distinct things. Blockchain can be seen as a record keeping technology in the simplest form. Blockchain is a record keeping technology that does not allow corrupt information to come into it. So we can look at blockchain as electricity. So we have electricity as blockchain, and we have the bulb as Bitcoin. So power from electricity powers the bulb, but blockchain itself, it's its own entity that can be used in various ways. There are numerous ways that blockchain has been used today, but Bitcoin just happens to be one of the most widely spread uses of the blockchain technology. Why? Because the blockchain technology itself is safe. Nobody controls the blockchain technology. Everybody that has a piece of Bitcoin, or every computer connected to the blockchain network, we are all a part of the people that control it. There is no government, there is no central bank. This is what makes blockchain technology very, very, very useful. So the use of blockchain, firstly, money transfer, which is where we have Bitcoin, right? So the idea of using the blockchain to power the crypto network simply comes from the point of, if we have a technology that cannot be manipulated, so it means that all the data that enters the technology at all times is accurate. So this was the founding place for Bitcoin. Bitcoin was founded in 2009 by a group of people or a person under the name Satoshi Nakamoto. So nobody knows who actually founded Bitcoin, but Bitcoin just mysteriously appeared on the internet one day. And with little or no advertisement, Bitcoin has been able to shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot from a price of zero to a price of $8,950 as I'm speaking to you right now. That is because the world is changing, the world is evolving, and what Gmail, email did to regular currency, did to regular letters, is the same thing that Bitcoin is going to do to paper money. So with Bitcoin, you can send any amount of money instantly from one place to another without having to worry about any regulation whatsoever. Bitcoin literally makes the world, as we know it today, a global village. It makes the world smaller. It makes money transfer more efficient and more accurate. So today we have lots of other companies or lots of other businesses implementing the use of blockchain technology. For example, one of the largest use cases for blockchain technology now is in shipments. Like I said earlier on, the blockchain itself is a record keeping technology. So in any aspect of life that records needs to be kept, right, the blockchain can be used because the blockchain is not corrupted. It cannot be manipulated, it cannot be altered, and it cannot be changed. It remains the same every time, over time. And that is the primary use of the blockchain technology. Do we have any questions on that before I move on?
No.
So part of the people who have adopted the blockchain technology is the shipment and logistics company DHL. So DHL adopted blockchain technology to help their shipments and to maintain integrity of all their transactions. Like I said earlier, the blockchain is the only technology out there today that cannot be manipulated. So with the blockchain technology, DHL has been able to make sure that their staffs internally and people externally cannot manipulate their shipment record and maintain the integrity of their transactions. So as the world advances and people begin to adopt the idea of blockchain, we would see more and more startups, we will see more and more existing businesses adopt the concept of blockchain. And that is the future, my friends. That is where the world is going into. And at Patricia, we have already adopted the blockchain technology in the space of money, in the space of money transfer. So right now we have primarily the Bitcoin platform and the Bitcoin service, but we are working on new kinds of applications for the blockchain technology within our ecosystem, because we strongly believe that what the Bitcoin stands for is the future, and that is what we are gearing towards. So somebody asked, any other currencies attached to blockchain, are they regulated by Bitcoin? Oh, okay, no. So look at it this way. Bitcoin is the first and the original cryptocurrency. It is the first one ever created. So after Bitcoin was created, we saw the birth of more cryptocurrencies, right? So we have Ethereum. We have Bitcoin Cash, we have Monero, we have Ripple, we have Patricia's own coin called Risha. We have a lot of cryptocurrencies that came out from the birth of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin does not in any way regulate cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies themselves are not regulated, and this is what makes them fantastic. This is what makes cryptocurrency a universal currency. So no, they are not regulated by the blockchain. So with the explosion of technology, we see a lot of companies spring up who want to do things differently, who are in quotes digital. And that is where the term fintech comes from. So fintech itself is a short form for the word financial technology. And financial technology simply means uh, working with technology that has to do with finance. Finance today, we have money transfer. Finance today, we have airtime. We have lending of money. Companies like Carrywise, who handles lending of money. We have companies like Chipper Cash, which are African startups, which allows you send money all around Africa. So these companies all fall within the range, within the scope of fintech companies because they deal with financial technologies. So our big banks today say any of the big banks we have in Nigeria, they can equally fall under that same space, but they are not necessarily fintech companies in quotes because they are banks, they are commercial banks, right? So now what we have done at Patricia is we have made sure to be at the forefront of fintech technologies in the sense of everything your bank can do today, we can do it faster, conveniently, and at the tap of a button. You want to transfer money, you want to from one bank to another, you want to buy airtime, and we're currently rolling out a new feature which allows you whenever you buy airtime from your phones, right? We give you a cashback in Bitcoin because we understand that a lot of people do not understand what Bitcoin is, what and the use cases of Bitcoin, and what better way to allow you use it than to actually give you some Bitcoin. So in a couple of weeks, you will be able to get Bitcoin from Patricia for every single time you purchase airtime or you pay for data. So these are a few of the services coming out. I'm just giving you guys a little sneak peek as to who we are and how we operate. All right, so we just recently launched our app. This is the first version of the app, and the app is fantastic, I must tell you. It is an all-in-one app, never been done before. So on the Patricia app, you could buy airtime, you could turn your airtime to cash. So in the case where you load too much airtime, whether it's a mistake or you want to sell airtime, right? We can allow you do that, and we are actually the first in Nigeria to allow you to give you this service. You can request for a debit card on our platform. So even if you have Bitcoin or you do not have Bitcoin, right? Our debit cards are the first cards in Africa that can be delivered to your home. I will be waiting for your questions. If you have any, then we will take it from there.
So Declan is
And
asking I want to know how one can cash out by investing in Bitcoin. So say I invest 1 million in Bitcoin, how do I make profits? Do I have to wait till Bitcoin appreciates before I profit?
okay, so you can see you can look at Bitcoin as the same way you look at stocks, right? When you make profit off stocks is if the value of the stock increases. And how the stock market works is based off the performance of the company, right? But with Bitcoin, it is similar, but not exactly the same. So you buy Bitcoin today. Now, Bitcoin, when we started off this meeting, Bitcoin was 8,900. And now Bitcoin has gone up to $9,020. So imagine you bought Bitcoin an hour ago at $8,900. for one Bitcoin, and you waited for just 1 hour, you would have made $100 on that transaction. If you sell it in the next 1 hour, you already make a profit. So that is exactly how Bitcoin works. Now the question is, what makes the price of Bitcoin go up and what makes the price of Bitcoin go down? So it is still very simple how the price fluctuations of Bitcoin work. So imagine we have 10 people in the Bitcoin network actively buying Bitcoin. Then tomorrow we have an influx of 20 more people in the Bitcoin network. So that makes it 30 people in the Bitcoin network. Automatically, it makes the value of Bitcoin goes up because these people brought money into the system. So when you see Bitcoin going up, it means that the number of users or the number of people, or in Bitcoin terms, the Bitcoin value cap has gone up. So it makes the price of Bitcoin increase further. Unlike regular currency that can be influenced by inflation, Bitcoin cannot be influenced by inflation. That is because in the entirety of Bitcoin, only 21 million Bitcoin will ever be produced. Only 21 million Bitcoin will ever be produced. As of today, we have almost 17 million Bitcoin that has been produced. By produced, I mean mined, but that's another story altogether. But we have about 17 million Bitcoin that has been mined. So we have 4 million Bitcoin left to go before Bitcoin production stops. Some days ago, we experienced a new event in the blockchain network. It's called halving. So every 4 years, the blockchain network halves. And when I say halve, I mean it becomes twice as difficult to mine one Bitcoin. So as the blockchain halved 2 days ago, it makes Bitcoin miners spend more time and spend more money to mine Bitcoin. So it makes the activity and the process of getting Bitcoin way more difficult. And all of these factors are what drive the price of Bitcoin up and up and up and up. So how does Bitcoin go down? So today you go on the news and Trump says Bitcoin is a hoax, Bitcoin is fake, right? This automatically causes a panic. So people around the world are saying, oh, Bitcoin is fake and I have Bitcoin. The minute people start to sell off their Bitcoin, it makes the total value of money inside Bitcoin reduce, thereby reducing the value of Bitcoin each person has. So that is how the Bitcoin market fluctuation works, basically.
Okay. There's someone here wants us to talk about gift cards trade. How
Okay.
gift cards work on Patricia.
Okay. How gift card works on Patricia. So Patricia, today, what we allow you to do on our platform is you can buy gift cards from us, and you can also sell gift cards to us. In a nutshell, that is how it works. So we have loads and loads of gift cards that we offer, even down to Nigerian local gift cards, and we offer all of these cards, and they are available to you 24/7. We have people working on them at the back end, 24/7 customer service there to attend your needs or answer any of your questions you might have. So that is how gift cards work on our platforms. It's pretty straightforward.
Okay, so we have another question. What about Ethereum? Do you deal in that too? That's ETH.
Yeah, so Ethereum. All right. So let's look at it this way. Blockchain is like the Microsoft of the crypto space, right? Ethereum is like the Apple of the crypto space. So Ethereum is like the next biggest cryptocurrency after blockchain, and it is that way because you can build what we call smart contracts with Ethereum. So smart contracts with Ethereum basically means, how do I simplify this? So you can hold value with Ethereum, unlike how you can hold value value with blockchain. That is like the major difference between Ethereum and Bitcoin. With Ethereum, you can upgrade Ethereum to do a whole lot of things. So today, when we talk about fixing with Patricia, where you can fix your Bitcoin not to lose value, not to lose value, we leveraged off the Ethereum network, right? The Ethereum blockchain capabilities to build that service, because Ethereum can be manipulated and it is less rigid, unlike Bitcoin. So that is why Ethereum is known to be the smart contract. Ethereum is basically the smarter version of Bitcoin. But we do not currently trade Ethereum to our users, although we do that internally, but it would come up on our platform in the next couple of weeks, and you'll be able to trade Ethereum on there live also.
Okay, so we have someone else is asking. Someone told me that to sell gift cards, you will have a vendor outside the country. Is that true? Another person is saying, are your gift card transactions fast? So I think you can just answer both questions.
Okay, so to sell gift cards, today, Patricia, we are in 5 different countries. We're in Nigeria, we're in Ghana, we're in Dubai, that's UAE, we're in China, we're in America, we're in UK. So I think that covers most of the top countries in terms of technology and cryptocurrency. So all about gift cards, we do have our presence in all of these countries. So this is what facilitates and drives our gift card adoption. And that's why we can offer you gift cards in multiple countries. We can offer you gift cards from America, from UK, from Canada, from Australia, you name it, even Brazil. We have presence there, and that's how we are able to offer. So I think we have the largest catalog of gift cards that any company offers today in Africa. Our gift card transaction fast. Well, it depends on the kind of gift card you are trading to us. If you were giving us a Steam card, for example, that's pretty swift. But when it comes to some cards like Nordstrom, Walmart, so some cards can take longer time, from anywhere from 15 minutes to 5 hours, sometimes even more. But it largely depends on the kind of card. But the good thing is when you come on our platform, it is clearly stated there the time it will take to averagely confirm a card. So that would guide your direction. And yes, we do trade cards like American Express. It is one of our top traded cards today. So if you have it, waste no time, go on our website and you can start trading now.
Okay. Someone is asking, how does Patricia manage transaction/miner fees without placing the burden on the user? And how does Patricia manage Bitcoin price fluctuation and the various services it provides?
All right, so let me start with the first question. How does Patricia manage transaction and miner fees without placing the burden on the users? That's a very good question, because today we have the lowest fees you can find anywhere. And when we say anywhere, I'm not just talking Nigeria or Africa, I'm talking worldwide. We have the lowest fees across the world. You can literally find, we charge less than $1 for a transaction on the blockchain network. And I cannot categorically tell you how we do it, because I might have to kill you if I tell you that. But that is our trade secret. And that is how we innovate to make it, to make Patricia one of the best platforms you can ever use anywhere in the world.
Okay, how does Patricia manage Bitcoin price fluctuations and the various services we provide?
Okay, so with that, we have a risk appetite, because we all know that the price of Bitcoin always fluctuates. That is why we even went ahead to create the solution called Fix, where you can fix your Bitcoin and it never loses value. So it was firstly a problem when we started off in the crypto industry, and we solved the problem for ourselves. And we thought that if this is a problem for us, how do we fix it for our users and the rest of the world? Because my ideology is, if I have a problem, there must be a ton of people out there who have the same problem. And that is why we have been able to expose the product called Fix to our users, where if you have Bitcoin, you do not have to lose any value of your Bitcoin. And that is how we solve the problem of the Bitcoin.
Okay. Someone is asking, talking about smart contracts, some debates have been going on online that they are scams. What's your take on this?
Okay, so first of all, right, smart contract is a thing. Smart contract is real, right? And the way the blockchain is built, anybody with developer skills can access it, and you can go in and you can build whatever you want to build off it, right? So smart contract itself is legit, right? But the application of smart contracts, right? People can use it to do whatever they want. They can use it as a tool for scam, as a tool to push the world forward, as a tool to make currencies more stable. So it all depends on the applications. So that is why I would ultimately say, before you divulge or you jump into any of these services, you have to make sure that you're making your research 100%, and you do not act on impulse or merely hearsay, because you might end up losing some money at the end of the day. Is there any method for young innovators in the crypto system and how to stay active? Well, I would say the crypto system in itself is a really transparent system. That is one of the beauties around it, and there are loads and loads of strategies around it. But you have to be a little bit more specific, because when you say crypto system, you're talking about the blockchain technology in its vastness. So, are you talking about exchanging? Are you talking about day trading? Are you saying buying and selling? What exactly do you want me to throw the light on? Because it's a really, really broad question.
I'm sure. Like you said, I'm asking
Okay.
about trading Bitcoins.
Okay. By trading Bitcoin, so if you want to trade Bitcoin as a business, strategies. Firstly, is do not send money first. Do not send money first, because we have loads and loads of rippers. So do not send money first. Make sure you have a good liquidity partner. So even when you were able to amass these currencies, you also have a way of getting back cash to pay your customers. Put your customers first, put convenience at the forefront of what you do. And yeah, basically take it from there. And if you need any help in setting up your business all around crypto, you're in luck, because Patricia Business is here. We can take you from inception till launch, to putting your market out to putting your product out in the market. So we have you covered 100%. So you could just send an email to hello@patrol.com.ng if you are interested, and we can get you started up with the crypto space.
Okay. So we have another one. So the person goes, you talked about Patricia Business and how Patricia plans to empower a regular user to make money from the services Patricia provides. If I have $1 million and I want to invest in Patricia's services as a form of investment for myself, what are the profit margins I stand to gain? And in what time intervals would I see profits on investments? Bear in mind, I don't want to get other users, in bracket MLM. I don't want to do any extra work like stocks and bonds. I just want to bring in money and reap the benefits.
Okay, so let me start by putting this out there. We are not an investment firm. We do not take investments for users. But what we do is we facilitate entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs, innovators who want to explore new markets. So with Patricia Business, what we have done is we put all the work we have been able to successfully execute over the past 2-3 years. and we put it up in a bundle. So if you want to invest 1 million in the crypto space and you want to come to us, we do not take the money from you, right? The money remains your money, but we give you the services to accept Bitcoin from customers. We give you the services to have customers sell Bitcoin to us, and you don't even need to have any technical knowledge whatsoever. You could just plug and play, and your users can sell Bitcoin, sell gift cards, and whatever you want to do. But we do not take that money from you, and you have to put in some work. Like I said, we do not invest for you, right? So you have to get your own users to come on your own platform to make this transaction. So we are at the back end, making sure that your transactions go smoothly. So it depends on how much people you're able to convert onto your platform. Then you can make returns off that. Okay. So let's see. Fundamental and technical analysis in trading cryptocurrencies and other Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So that question is a little bit vague, but I'll try my best to explain as much as I can. So you're asking how do you trade Bitcoin in terms of buy and sell? So how do you buy Bitcoin? So first off, you need to find somebody who wants to sell off his Bitcoin, and you have a platform. So you could be us and use an app, or you could use your WhatsApp. You have your transaction. The person you send your wallet over to the user. The user sends the Bitcoin to you, and that's how it works. Basically, you have just bought Bitcoin and you credit the users. So the question now lies: how do you, the person who bought the Bitcoin, how do you get value off your Bitcoin? And that takes me back to Patricia Business, where you can sign up as a merchant and we can provide you liquidity that you need to service your customers. So that is how you buy Bitcoin. Same thing applies. You want to buy Bitcoin from us to sell to your users, you can connect to Patricia Business, and we can provide you the liquidity that you need, or the currencies you need. Not just Bitcoin now, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash. All we have five core currencies currently live that you can all connect to get that to work also. So I think that's how you can do that.
Okay. Someone is asking, please, when is Patricia Business coming up?
Yeah, so Patricia Business is coming up in another 6 weeks. So in 6 weeks' time, Patricia Business should be live, and you could have access to all the tools we have. So Patricia Business primarily is going to be a crypto acceptance site, platform, where you can accept cryptocurrencies to make payments. So you are a business, you own the barbering salon, like my friend Emmanuel does, right? You can accept Bitcoin from your users. You Mega Chicken, ShopRites, gas stations, any part of the country, right? You can accept cryptocurrencies online and on and offline. That is our goal with Patricia Business. We're using that as a tool to also drive the mass adoption of cryptocurrency, because we understand that it is not going to happen overnight. We understand that there's going to be a long transitional phase before the traditional and the digital comes together to form together, and we intend to be that bridge that will carry the transition from one end to another. That is why we are bringing up these products that drives the adoption of cryptocurrency in Nigeria and Africa at large.
Okay, so someone wants to know if Bitcoin flashing is real, because he's referencing Paxful, because Paxful allows peer-to-peer trading. So he sees it as an obstacle as a young trader. So
let's start with that. I don't know what Bitcoin flashing is. What's Bitcoin flashing? I've never heard about that before.
In my head, I'm thinking this sounds like
it's like alerts.
Yeah, like fake alerts. I'm tempted to just tell you point blank, Bitcoin transactions are final and finite once you can't do a fake alert with Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's not reversible. That's the beauty of Bitcoin. It's not reversible. So if, well, there are some cases, there are some cases because, like I said, the blockchain is open to anybody, right? So some people have been able to build a system where they can send you Bitcoin, but they will not really send you Bitcoin, right? What they will do is that they will send you a lookalike of a Bitcoin transaction. So you can actually see the Bitcoin, you can view it, but you cannot spend it. So it's there, but it's not yours. And whenever the original owner wants, he can recall it back. So that is not technically like flashing, but
He's saying he wishes he could play the video. I guess he has a video of Bitcoin.
of the fake alert. Well, the beauty of this is why we say come to Patricia, right? We have solved these problems for you even before you even thought about it, because we have never had a case of anybody having this issue with us, and we deal on hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin transactions weekly, right? So whoever you were using, maybe it's blockchain.com, not blockchain as a network, but the app called blockchain.com, right? But if you're on Patricia, you wouldn't have any of this problem. So maybe it's time for you to, use our wallets.
And your provider, basically. Someone
Questions?
is saying, can you tell us how to start a business?
The basics.
No, how to start a business, the basics. Okay, yeah. The challenges.
Well, informal capital.
Finance.
I wouldn't say the first challenge is finance, right? Because I literally started Patricia with less than 500,000, right? I started Patricia and we were in a boys' quarter, literally, and that was where I got the first team member of Patricia. And so, firstly, I would say is, why do you want to start a business? Right? That should be, let us start with the why. Why do you want to start a business? Why do you feel the need to start a business? Is it because everybody's starting a business? Or is it because you have something you want to change? Or there's an underlying problem you want to solve, or this is your passion? Because the why is the reason why you push. The why is the reason why you show up every day even when it's not comfortable. And consistency is the most important thing about doing anything in life. Denzel Washington says, with determination, you start, but with consistency, you finish, right? And I would like to add, you don't just finish, you finish well. So the first question is why? So if you have your why put together, right, then that is a very good start. So finance is not a problem, right? The first challenge you should ask yourself is why. And when you do find the perfect why, then you ask yourself, what solution are you trying to solve? What are you doing that is unique to the market? So everybody is selling phones today, and you feel, oh, let me jump in and sell phones today. First off, you don't have a why. Secondly, you don't have a solution you're trying to solve, because you're doing the same thing every other person is doing. So your why comes first. Then what are you trying to change? What are you trying to solve? What is your unique selling points? What or what are your USPs? Because this is what attracts users into your system. So with technology, you can choose to do two things. You can choose to go 0 to 1 or 0 to n. I need you guys to follow me on this point, because it's kind of technical. So you can choose to go 0 to 1 or go 0 to n. And I'll give you some instances of real life instances of how the world has moved from 0 to 1 and 0 to n. So 0 to 1 is where the magic happens. When the world moves from 0 to 1, in terms of companies like Uber, so they came and they brought their own market 0 to 1. Companies like Apple, when they introduced the iPhone. So before then, the entire world had mobile devices, but they did not use their hands to touch, right? So Apple came and brought the first ever touchscreen phone, and that moved the world from 0 to 1 because it ushered in the new age of smartphones. Bitcoin moved the world from 0 to 1 because it moved the world from zero to digital currencies. Now we have, for example, let me give you a list of companies that have moved the world from 0 to N. 0 to N comes in the term of globalization, right? So we see that Uber is working, right? We copy Uber's model and we keep on doing it. So it does not take the world forward. It does in terms of globalization, but it is not technological innovation. So you just copy what is already there and you move the world from 0 to N. Look at the country China. China has been the leaders in moving the world from 0 to N. That is because they look at what is happening in the Western world and they just copy it and they make it good, they make it improved, and they make it better. So both systems can work, right? But you have to understand, what am I caring for? What am I trying to achieve? Am I trying to move the world from 0 to 1 or from 0 to N? Personally, I like to move the world from 0 to 1 because that is where the impact is. That is where the world takes full that's what pushes the human race forward.
Okay, we have a question here. What are some hacks or strategies you think one can use to launch a startup business?
The hacks or strategies you can use to launch a startup or a business. Well, like I said, it's not it has never been about launching a business. It has always been about creating value. People pay you to create value if it is valuable for them, right? So that is the first thing. You have to find value. I read somewhere and the guy said, if you set yourself on fire, people will take notes, right? So you need to set yourself on fire. You need to find the right problem
The
that you want
Bluetooth
to
device is ready to pair.
take it from there. So the very first thing has always been, firstly, find your why, find your value, and the next thing is get your team together. I cannot understate the value of having the right team members. You need to have the right people in your team that you can go to bed and rest assured that things are moving and they are moving positively. Your team has to be understated, cannot be understated. You have to have a team, and you as the leader, you have to continually push your team. You have to continually make your team move. Your team, you have to do the most. That is our mantra in Patricia. We do the most, and you have to always do the most because that is where things work. So have your team, do the
Okay,
most, start with the why.
so we have two questions. The first one says, please explain how various funding works for startups, from VCs to grants, etc. If I want to start a business with little capital, how do I know I should seek a grant or go for a venture capitalist?
Okay. So let me start by saying that Patricia was bootstrapped. By bootstrapped, I mean that we did not get any funding whatsoever from anybody. Patricia grew from 0 to 100 all by itself, right? So I have not had personal experience with raising funds, but I do know how it works. So I'll explain how it works. So in fundraising, we have different levels. So the first level we have is pre-seed. So pre-seed basically means that you have an idea. Your idea is not a business. It is not live. There is no tangible thing around it. It is just an idea, right? And you have people who believe in that idea because you've been able to pitch that idea to them. So your pre-seed funding comes from friends and family most of the time, right? Because most big businesses or most VCs would not fund an idea that's just in pen and paper, right? So if you are in a pre-seed phase, so I think that's the first phase for every entrepreneur. you're always in pre-seed phase where you just have an idea that you think is the next big thing. So the first thing you need to do is go to those family and friends who believe in you, convince as much people as you can, and you can pull them together. And that is the first phase. That is called pre-seed. Then move over to seed phase. So preceding phase can be anything. Can be $1 million. Well, when I talk about funding, I usually like to talk about it in dollars. So it can be anywhere from $2,000 below, right? Then we can move over to the next phase, which is the seed phase. So on the seed phase, you have a business, right? You have a business that is working. You might be turning in profits or not, but you have a solid business that has potentials, and people can come in and look at your business and say, oh, wow, these guys have a future, right? So it's time for us to pump in some more money so they can achieve their goals faster. They can do more marketing. They can have more developers coming. For whatever reason you want to expand or whatever direction you want to expand to, then you have the seed phase. Then after the seed phase comes the more serious phase. So pre-seed phase is usually from $3 million all the way down to zero. Then we come to Series A. Series A, you have a business. So you are now a medium-sized business and you want to expand globally. You want to penetrate new countries. You want to release new products. You want the company to grow way faster than normal, right? Then we have the Series A funding. And Series A funding can be any amount, depending on how big your company is. So see, you can go from Series A all the way down to Series Z in terms of funding. But also bear in mind that whenever funding happens, whenever a startup or a company raises more funds, your equity as the founder or the co-founders in the stockpile reduces. So with every funding, your equity reduces. But then again, you should ask yourself the questions: do you want to be a full dog or one leg of an elephant? So today we have the CEO of Amazon who has less than 20% shares in Amazon and is the world richest man. So yeah, raising capital makes sense. So after you have gone through all the series, after you've gone through all the series of funding, right, and you are now a big business, you are ready to go public. Going public means your company is now selling its shares to the general public. So this is where companies get valuation of 100 billion, because the day they go public, they have an initial public offering. It's called IPO. So the company stocks now trades in the general market. So in America, it's called NASDAQ. Your company shares is now traded in NASDAQ, and you can buy and sell. You can buy and sell. So anybody can buy and sell your company stocks, and that is a peak of a company to get IPO'd. But at the same time, some founders want to leave their business without a public eye, because once your company goes public, the shareholders now have a say. Now, not just the internal shareholders, it means me and you have a say in how Apple is run, right? We get dividends, we get all of that, so we can have a share, we can have a say, depending on how large our stock is. But that's how it works. So we have the pre-seed, we have the seed, we have the series, which is A, B, C, all the way to Z, and we have the IPO, the initial public offering. Yeah.
Okay, so we have one of the most interesting questions we have always been asked. How do you come up with the name Patricia?
Okay. All right. So Patricia, I had the idea for Patricia sometime in 2014. And at that time, I had a journal where I write down all my ideas. So, I was literally just scribbling the idea of Patricia down, and I could hear my mom and my granddad fighting. So they always fight, right? And my mom's name is Patience, but for some reason, my granddad never calls her Patience. So whenever we are at his, he calls her Patricia. So he was calling her Patricia, and she was screaming, "Don't call me Patricia. My name is don't call me Patricia. My name is Patience. I was like, okay, just name this one Patricia, and you know, Patricia. So
Okay.
yeah, that's it.
Can you refer us to any books?
Yes, I can actually. So I read a lot, and I read loads and loads of books, and not just business books, because I like to keep my idea space very random and very open, because you do not know where you can draw inspiration from. But in terms of business, I will tell you that one of the best books I have ever read, which I just finished reading yesterday, is Zero to One by Peter Thiel. He was the founder of PayPal along Elon Musk, and now he has moved on to other companies, and he's now a VC. So Zero to One by.
That Patricia. This question has been answered earlier. Don't worry, just check our social pages, and this video will be up there. And you
Okay,
definitely.
it's fine. I'll just answer again, because it's a very interesting story that I like to tell. So, like I said, I had a journal where I have different ideas. So Patricia was number 37 at the time, and now I have about 107 ideas on that book. So before now, I have many other businesses I've started. So at the time, so first off, let me say this: there is no shame in business, right? I think that this is what people need to understand, because people laugh at you, right? But when you succeed in what you do, they call you boss. They come to you and ask you for favors. So in university, I had a popcorn stand where I sold popcorn in Unipots. And what I did then was I employed a lady to sell popcorn for me. And I made my own recipe. So my popcorn was like one of the really nicest popcorn in the hood. 1 month, 2 months, we were doing great. I expanded. I had 2 or 3 more stands. Next thing, some of my stands started, not working as they used to work before. And I pass by every day on my way to school, on my way back, and I see crowd at my stands. But at the end of the day, I don't get returns. So the lady says, oh, there was no sales, or this happened, that happened, and all of that. After a couple of weeks, I realized that this lady had actually been selling her own popcorn in my stand. And she had saved all the money, and she opened a stand right next to me. So I had to fire her, and she became a competition, and I was selling popcorn next to her. I couldn't employ anybody at that time. So after school, I came down and I sold my own popcorn myself. No, so imagine a 400 level guy, on 400 level. I should be a 5 boy in school. But after school, they see me selling popcorn. My friends walk around, they make jokes and all of that. But that didn't stop me. That didn't work. I went ahead and I opened a Meshai store. So a Meshai store is basically Indomie and egg. I did that for a couple of months, right? I moved on from that. I sold recharge card in school. I moved on from that. I saved up some money. I bought a cab from Abba for 120,000 naira. And that cab never drove on the road for one day. So basically, I have been having loads of trial and errors, failures. I had actually 13 businesses until Patricia. So in my head, Patricia was just another one of those, let's try again. Let's see if it works. And it just happened that Patricia's time was right. You know what they say, there is no army as strong as an idea whose time has come. And at that time, Patricia's time had come, and I didn't even know that, right? So what am I saying? What I'm saying is you have to always keep on trying. You have to always, regardless of what people will say, regardless of what the naysayers will say or what they will throw at you, you have to understand that your journey is different. You have to understand that your race is different, and you are responsible for yourself. What people say, not what they say. A ship does not get sinked by the water around it, only the water that gets into it. So you have to make sure that their words do not penetrate past you, and you keep on pushing. So how did I start Patricia? I started Patricia because I wanted to try one of my ideas, and I just felt at the time Patricia was the best. And and the universe agreed with me, because Patricia happened to just work. So we were 2 persons, me, my manager now, his name is Chris. He was the first employee of Patricia. He's still with us today. And one other lady, her name is Beauty. So we were in a boys' quarter, and we were doing this thing called Patricia, finding ways to make it work. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, nothing. Nobody came in, no transaction. What do we do at this point? And at the time, Instagram was beginning to buzz. Instagram was beginning to become the thing. So I was literally down to my last 80,000 naira, I think. And I reached out to Mr. Jollof. I know that a few of you might know him. And, I tried to convince him that, okay, look, this is what I do, make an ad for me and let's see how it's going to work. So after much conversation, he agreed to do the ad and I paid him all the 80,000. And I was like, at this point, this is it. So he made the ad for us. And I think that was the tipping point for us, because after that time, we began to have little traction, day in, day out. And 6 months later, we realized that this boys' quarter had begun too small because we had grown from a team of 2 to a team of 6. So we could not even push our chairs back without touching somebody else. And my motto in life has been always do the most. So I took all the money we had saved in 6 months and we went to rent a duplex, a 5-bedroom duplex. And the 5-bedroom duplex had a boys' quarter. And that boys' quarter was bigger than our current boys' quarter that we were in at the time. So now we are a team of 5 and we just moved to a duplex. And everybody was asking the question, what are you doing, my guy? What are you doing? You are in an empty building. Okay, it's fine. Rent some house, rent some spaces as short let, so other companies can come and work in there so you can make some revenue. And people kept on saying a lot of things about it, that you have just 5 people while you're renting a duplex. What are you doing? But that's what I'm saying. You as the entrepreneur, you as the founder, you have to control the vision, right? You have to always control the vision, because most people will not see what you are saying. Most people cannot see past their current thought process. They cannot see past the immediate future. So you have to have a vision as wide as the ocean. Your horizon should be an ending sea. And I always knew from the get-go that I need to go as far as I can go. I need to push as far as I can push. When I get to the end, I will see more. I will see further and I will be able to push some more. So we rented a 5-bedroom duplex and we started working. It was time to expand. We had interviews. When people come into the apartment, they see an empty building with just some guys standing around. They don't understand what's going on. They run away because it's an uncompleted building with just some guys. And it was really difficult. I kid you not. But we just kept on going as a team, as a company. We kept on going, kept on making strong connections. So I would say one of the backbones for our success in Patricia is the team, right? We all believe in what we are doing. We all know that we are going to change the world. In Patricia, we have a mantra, and our mantra says, 1 shall chase 1,000, 2 shall chase 10,000, and at Patricia, we will change the world, because that is our goal. And our team believes in that goal. We embody the goal. We embody the vision of the company. We embody what we stand for. And that has been the success of Patricia. And we keep on making big moves. We keep on going as far as we can go. And the funny thing is, the users only see a fraction of these big moves, but what we have built and what we are still building is magnificent. And ultimately, I want people out there to know that it's possible for every one of us, because it was just a hobby. It was just let's try this, let's try this, let's try that. And that is how it works. Look at other companies around the world, how they started, the Facebooks, the Amazons, the Google and the likes, it was not any different from Patricia. I can tell you for a fact that Patricia is not even 3 years old. and we've been able to do this much. We are already ahead of the global leaders in terms of time. In 3 years, nobody has done as much as we have done in 3 years. And we will always continue to do the most and always continue to push the narrative and paint a better picture. So you want to start a business, you want to do what we're doing, you have to have the right team, and you have to control the vision. You have to believe that whatever idea you have is possible. You just need to have the discipline enough to go for it and to activate it. Yeah.
Okay.
How old am I? Well, I will be 25 by November this year. So I'm 24 now. And yeah, I'm 24 going to 25. Forbes list. So funny story is I actually got invited for Forbes sometime last year, but I couldn't make it because I was in London at the time when they were giving out the awards for the Forbes under 30, right? So I have pushed the goal a little bit forward to be on Forbes under 30, but not under 30 under 30. To be on Forbes billionaires under 30, and Patricia is going to take us there. So yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone. It's been nice having a chat with you all. We hope to do this sometime soon. Definitely, we can make this a recurring session, depending on how you guys find it interesting. Check us out on our socials. On Instagram, patricia.com.ng. On Twitter, Patricia Switch. On Facebook, patricia.com.ng. And we don't trade on social media or social platforms. We trade strictly on our website and via the app. There are so many scam pages out there trying to mimic what we do and mirror us. So please be careful out there. And if you have any concerns, please reach out to hello@patricia.com.ng. That's one of the safest ways you can reach out to us. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, boss.
Guys, have a great day and keep doing the most.
Patricia, Bitcoin made easy.